This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So guys, we saw, what is testing, how to install, configure, how can we manage our test cases, how to make one test cases dependent on another, then, different kinds of assertion, soft assertion, hard assertion, all these things we discussed, right? Then also how to run all your test case in a batch mode, how you can group the test case together, how we can run a particular group and all. So all these things we did. We saw, all the configurations of testing. Okay. Now think about it. Okay. You have your project. Okay. So how you're going to share it with the customer and how they are going to run, right? How they are going to run it. So think about it. This is the project what we have created. This is the project, right? In this project I have source folder, and inside the source folder I have different my test cases, basically my .java file and all this stuff. Now I told you, for example, we took an example of say one bank. We did that ICICIbank.com and all, and we developed our project. Now client needs to run it. How you are going to share it? You can't tell client, see, this is my project, you go in, install Eclipse and you import this project and run it. No, those things you can't tell to the client, because the client whom you are going to share, they might not be expertise in Selenium or Eclipse or all this stuff. Okay, they might have there some internal tool through which they can run, right? So client can use this project to run with the help of any build generation. Okay, so how you are going to communicate with the client to run this program, to run this project? So you can't tell them to install Eclipse and all this stuff and all. So for that, they need to use some build generation tool. What is build generation tool? Build generation tool is nothing but which is going to generate the build from your .java file. Like in Eclipse also, right? When you create, all this .java file, and you create all this class file and run our project. So what Eclipse do? He creates those executable file under bin folder, right? I told you. So in the bin folder, you can see all .class files. In bin folder, you can see all .class files. So same way, if you are not using Eclipse, forget about this bin folder. So how the client is going to run? You can share only the project with the client. So you will zip this project, say Selenium July weekday. You will zip this folder and you will say share it with the client or upload it in some FTP location or maybe in Git and all. Okay, we'll talk about it later. And they are going to download it from Git or GitHub, and they need to run it in their system. So how they are going to run? They can't install Java, Eclipse. They can't open your program using Eclipse. They can't open testing.xml file and they can't run all this, because they might not be business people. They might not be just business owners. So how they are going to do that? For that, we will be using one build generation tool called Ant. So the thing is, here is our project, right? TestNG, or using TestNG, we have designed our project. Now I will not be using Eclipse. With the help of this file, with this file, what I will do, something Ant will come and execute this program. So Ant, what he will do, he will check this folder, source folder, and he will check what are the files are there inside this folder. So he will check all the Java files and he will create a folder, maybe here, another folder. He will just create, .class file. For all the .java file, he will just create a .class file. The same thing what Eclipse is doing inside the bin folder. So this will be replica of the bin folder, you can say. You can't use bin because I am not going to use Eclipse. You can't, as I told you, You can't ask client, to install Eclipse and all. Okay. So ANT is going to read this, source folder, and he is going to create a file where it will be .class files. Then they can execute .class file. Okay, inside this folder. So let's see how to do it. So these are called build generation tool, which will help you to generate the build. Okay, like Eclipse is also kind of build generation tool. He is generating the build inside the bin folder. Build means all executable files he is generating. Now, if these files you give it to anyone, they can run your program. You don't need to share your code. Okay. So same way, some open source build generation tool is available. One of the very popular tool is called ANT. So let's see what is ANT and all. See, today I am not using Eclipse. I am not opening Eclipse. Without opening Eclipse, I need to run my program. So just go here, go to the google.com, google.co.in. Here you type download ANT. So it will take you to ant.apache.org. So ANT is also developed by those Apache guys. To go here, see binary distribution here. If you scroll down, you can see different versions of ANT are available. So download any of the version, whatever you want, but .zip folder. Okay. So you just click here, it is going to start downloading this folder .zip. So I have already downloaded. My ANT is under download folder. You can see 1.9.4.bin.zip. This is the file I have downloaded. Now what I have to do, I have to unzip it. Once you unzip it, this is the folder. If you go inside this folder, there will be multiple folders. Go under lib folder. You can see all these .jar file. Okay, you can see all this .jar file. Okay, so there are some other folder, different folder structures are available. So these .jar files, will be used to run your scripts and generate the build generation file. Now, after downloading, I need to check whether ANT is there or not. So, if you type here, 1 second, if you type here ANT, okay, so by yeah, can you guys hear me now?
Yes, Abhishek.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you type ANT here, you will get, I purposely type, double T. So just forget about it. If you type normally ANT, you will get an error key. ANT is not recognized as internal or external command because the system will not be able to recognize ANT. Here, if I type ANT, your system can identify. Okay, the reason is I have already said. So what you need to do, you first time you might get this error. So you have to set the environment variable for this, right? So same way I told you, when you type Java, system was showing Java is not able to identify, recognized an internal or external command, right? So when we set the environment variable, but system can figure it out. Okay, here is the Java. So here also you tell your system where is your ANT. So there is nothing called installation of ANT. You just download ANT, unzip it. Now you have to configure. So you go to ANT folder where you can see all these things. Just copy this path. After copying this path, you go to properties, my computer properties, advanced system settings, environment variables. Here you click on new, type ANT underscore home. Here you paste it. Click on OK. Basically you are telling where is your ANT home directory. I am clicking cancel because I have already created. Can you see? ANT home. This is my ANT path. Okay. Same way we set up Java folder, right? M2 home, I'll talk about it. Got it? So you have to set the ANT home path and you need to go inside the bin folder now and copy this path. When I copied up to ANT, now I'm copying till bin. Okay. So what I am going to do now? Now I am going back here. Here path environment variable will be always there, right? By default. So you select it, you don't have to create it, it will be there by default. As soon as you install OS, this environment variable gets created. Here you click on edit and here you click on new and you paste it. So there I created ANT home till this, and in the path environment variable I have created till bin folder. Correct? So that's what, and click on OK button. I am not creating again. See here I have already created. Okay. So these two environment variable you need to set. Once you set these two environment variable, now if you type ANT, okay, see build.xml does not exist. Means he is able to identify what is ANT, but he is expecting some build.xml file. So all this build generation tool and all these different plugins, they run based on some XML file. So you saw, right, when we ran the testng class also, it used to create some XML file in the temporary folder. If I create my own testng.xml and run it, then it's fine. Otherwise it used to create automatically, right, some temporary folder I showed you in the testng report. Same way this tool needs some XML file to run. Okay, so what I am going to do, I'll go directly inside my project, open this cmd ANT. So what it is saying, build.xml does not exist. Okay, build.xml does not exist. So ANT is looking for some build.xml file. First time if you run, you might get some error message. I think I have copied it. 1 second. So if you run, you might get some error message like this. I have mentioned you set ANT home path and all. Whatever the things you guys have downloaded from my Google Drive, you will get all these files. Okay, so you might get an error message, unable to locate tools.jar. Expected to find it under JRE library folder. You will get this error message. So if you get this error message, what you need to do? You need to go to JDK library folder. Okay, wherever you have installed JDK, you go to that location. You go to JDK library folder. Under JDK library folder, you will see one jar file, tools.jar. You copy it and paste it under your JRE library folder. Okay, so you might get an error message, tools.jar not found, error like this. If unable to locate tools.jar, expected to find it this. So in such cases, you go to your JDK library folder, copy tools.jar and don't cut, copy, because this is required under JDK also, and paste it under JRE library folder. That's it you need to do. After that, if you run, you will get an error message, build.xml does not exist. So means everything is set. Only thing is he is looking for some build.xml file. Now here is build.xml file that you can download from the internet. You can write ant build.xml. So you can see, a lot of downloadable option to download build.xml. Write a sample build file. So this build.xml, there are different texts and all present. Okay, you can download from any location, but you have to modify it accordingly. Okay, we are using ant here with the help of testing. You have to modify it accordingly. So you don't have to download it from the internet, as I shared in the Google Drive. So you can use my file only. So this is my build.xml file. So let me copy it and paste it under my project. So what I did, I am copying and pasting it under my project. Okay, paste it directly under your project. Here your test.xml is also there, build.xml. After copying it, again if I run ant and hit enter, so can you see now it's not throwing any error message. So build successful means all the configurations are fine now. So ant, you need to set the environment variable, you need to set the tools.jar, you need to copy paste, and you need to download the build.xml and place it under the location under your project. You can place it any location, no issues. C drive also, so you can go to the C drive and type ant, it is going to run. But problem is that if you put it under C drive, how you are going to share it with the client, where they are going to put it. So I'll be zip this project to the client, right? When I'll share, I'll zip this project to the client and share that zip file. So client is going to download and unzip it. They can unzip it in any location. So that's why I'll be putting everything under my project. I'll not write anything outside my project. So once they unzip it, they will get all the files. I don't have to share it separately. Okay. So I am putting it, so that build.xml, I am putting it inside my project only. So whatever the files I am going to place, everything I am going to place inside my project or some folder inside my project, not outside. Okay. So, but yeah, ant client need to download those files and they need to set the environment variable that they need to do. Or if they are using their some in tool, that also they can use it. So we are just seeing ant how to use it. Okay. So that's it. Sorry, that's it. Okay. Now I copied it, and if I run, it's not throwing any error message. Build success means everything is fine. Now let's see what is build.xml and what are the things I need to do. The build.xml, what I need to do, I need to tell ws.home. ws means workspace. Where is my home directory? What is my home directory? My home directory is nothing but my project path, right? So this is my project path. I have to mention this is my home directory. Okay, I have to mention this is my home directory. Got it? Means where my project is. But if I share it, so what client, they need to come and change the code. You can't ask them to change the code. They will not be aware of how to change it. So that is the reason what I did. I copied build.xml under my project only. Okay, that is the reason I copied build.xml inside my project. And instead of hardcoding that path, I wrote $base directory. $base directory means where this file is present, this build.xml, consider this as the base directory. Means this location is my base directory, home directory. $base directory means wherever this file is present, this will take the base directory. So where this build.xml is present, build.xml is present under this path. I'm saying this is my workspace path, home path of my workspace or my project. Got it? So instead of hard coding, I put inside my project and I told $base directory means take this location. Next is, if I'm using Eclipse, what we used to do, we used to attach web developer jar files, we used to attach PDFs or any other jar files is required, we can attach it. Okay? But I'm not using Eclipse. So how he can read the jar files? He need to read the jars, right? From here he is to read the jar files. In this, what you do, you need to do all the jar files under some location. Like under this location. I need to copy all the jars under this location. Guys, can you hear me? Is there any issue? Hello?
This conference will now be recorded.
What I was talking about, you can't attach those jars inside, uh, Eclipse, because I am not using Eclipse here. So what I did, you have to copy all the TOI jars, all the web dev jars inside some folder. And this path you have to mention here. So I'm saying, boss, this is the path where all the jar files are present. Okay, this is the path where all the jar files are present. Now, this is the file. Now, all the jars I have mentioned, home directory I have mentioned where is my workspace. Now I have to tell where he need to generate the build. So where he need to generate the build folder. So I need to generate the bin folder under my project only, right? Build folder is nothing but the same as bin folder. Like this, he need to create a file where he can create all the Java files. So he need to create some folder. So I have to tell boss create it under this location build folder. So I can give this path plus build folder right here. This is the destination where he need to create all the files. So instead of hard coding, I wrote $ws.home means it will take this value ws.home. What is the value? Base directory means nothing but my project location. Got it? $ws.home is nothing but this one. The value is my project location. I'm saying under my project folder, you create a folder called build. Okay, so I'm saying you create a project, you create a folder called build. There you can create all the build folder.java file. Okay, all the Java file you can create it. Sorry, .class file you can create it. So you'll see you will be creating one folder called build, which will be equivalent to the bin folder. Basically, what Eclipse is doing, same thing ANT is going to do. It's going to generate the executable files here. Okay, I mentioned the part. Now, if he creates the executable file, I need to tell him what is the source files, right? If I tell him you create all the dot class file, you need to tell him where the dot Java files is there, right? So in line number 12, you can see I have mentioned the source location. So what is my source location? My source location is again same $ws.home, means this, which is my base directory, my project location where this file is present, and src means under src I have all the source files. Got it? So under src I have all the source files. You can mention. If I mention src/testng, so he will consider only these 4 files, whatever he created for testng. Okay. So if you mention, he is going to create the build folder only for these files. Okay. Let's mention everything only. So this is my build folder. Now let the other things be there. See ng.result test output. So he will be using test ng. So and what he can do, he can generate only build, means he can generate only the executable files. He cannot run your program, he cannot do anything. For that you need testng. With the help of testng, he can run your program in a batch mode. Otherwise ant cannot do anything. Ant can generate only build folder, only executable files. So to run your program you need testng. Okay. So here you can see I mentioned some testng parameter, let it be default. I mentioned set all the class path. Okay. I mentioned all the jar files are there, ws.jar. So here where I have put the location and other different class path, ant home environment variable. I'm saying under ant home environment variable, go to the bin folder, there will be ant.bat. So this file will be used by ant internally. Okay. And I'm saying this is the class name present under testng, through which he can run. Okay. So these are the some parameters you have to mention. We'll talk about the other stuff also. Now there are some commands to run ant. These are called targets of ant. One is clean. Clean means he's going to clean everything. One is compile. Compile means he's going to compile and generate a build folder and make all the executable files. Clean, compile, and finally run. He is going to run your program. To run your program, see, he needs testng.xml. So whatever the class name you mentioned in testng.xml, he is going to run only those classes. He is not going to run everything, all the folder, right? There are a lot of stuffs. So he will create .bin folder for everything. He is not going to run. Whatever the programs you are going to run, you have to mention in testng.xml. So whatever the class file name I have mentioned here, he is going to run only those. Okay, these 3 classes he is going to run, because here in build.xml they have mentioned go to the class path and use testng.xml. This is the thing you need to do. Okay, this part I will talk about later. Let's see. See, first I have to build. So you write ant build. So you note down here there will be one build folder. I am hitting enter. You should always get this message, build successful. Okay, sorry, not ant build. It should be ant compile. You need to compile. It will generate a compilation folder. So it's creating build successful. Always you get success message whatever you are running. Okay, so you can just ignore those warning. the source will 1.5 obsolete will be removed in a future release and all. So you can just update the Java version or change the Java version. Can you see here build folder? If you go inside the build, see test.ng, you can see .class file, all class files. Well, learn web driver, all these class files, listeners, all these things you can see here. Learn Java, you can see .class files. Okay, it generates everything. So whenever you run next time, it's always better. So for example, tomorrow I need to run it again. So before running, it's always better first to clean and then run. So I'm running ant clean. One more command is there in the build.x. You'll see it is going to delete the build folder. Clean. Can you see it's deleted the build folder? Okay. Let me delete this also. Testing job. Okay. Now I am running ant compile. So it's going to compile and generate a build folder. Can you see? It's generating a build folder. Now if I need to run ant run, it's going to run. See, I am not using Eclipse. It's running a program. Can you see the same report what we saw in the test engine? Total test run 8, failure 1, skip 0. And here is also you can see the same output, whatever we saw in the test engine. And you see test engine test.output is generated. If you open, you can see the report. Okay, so these are all the stuff you can see here. Okay, data provider should be static, public Java language object. Okay, okay. The error is data provider class. It should be static. Otherwise, it's not able to read this file. Okay. Otherwise, you have to create an object and all this stuff. That's what he's saying. Okay. And one more thing, let me make something fail and something skip. Assert equals t comma 4. Okay. Now, so you can see the test engine output folder. See, let me delete it. If you want, you can delete it also. If you don't delete it also, it's fine. It is override. So ant run, I'm running it again. So it will create test engine output folder. See, total 9, 1 failure, 1 skip. If I go back here and okay, I closed it. So if you go back here, open it, I can see the result. Can you see? So this is the test engine report. The same report what we done with the help of test engine. You can see it here. Okay. So this is how you can use Ant. So Ant is a build generation tool which will help you to run your program. So what client need to do? They just need to download your project, unzip it, and they have to configure Ant on their system or whatever the build generation tool they are using, and they need to just run it. I'll be sharing build.xml everything along with inside this folder itself. Okay, so this is what is ANT. Now, along with ANT, maybe I need to generate some proper report. See, if I go to the test.ng report is fine. But it's a little bit, technical report. You need a bit technical knowledge to read this kind of report. You have to go through all this error message and all, why that is failing, why other things are passed and all. Okay, and you can see chronological view everything here. But actually, for management, they don't need all this report in details. They need, this. Then instead of getting all this into details, they need some graphical format. So someone should present it properly with the help of some graph. Because they might be handling many teams. So, some management you are presenting, they don't want all this detail. They need to see whether they need that 90% should test case should pass through release that product. So here they have to calculate and see how many test case pass, fail, and all this stuff. So it's not basically generating some nice report for them. If you want, you can integrate some other third party along with and integrate. See, there are different third party available. Even a lot of third party people might be creating different report because sometimes they integrate their own customized report and all. Okay. So here, let me add Xslt report. So there is a report called Xslt. The full form of Xslt is Extensible Style Sheet Language for Transformation. Okay, I have mentioned the steps, I think. Yeah. Now use stringy Xslt report. The Xslt stands for XML style sheet for transformation. So what this will do, this will nothing but same thing. He will just give some detailed report. So if you need to generate Xslt report, you have to follow some steps. They told you have to download 2 jar files from the Google. I say IXLI. Sorry, what is that jar file? Sorry, it is there in build.xml. So you need to download some jar files to run this report, because all this report run based on some program, right? Those programs are available normally in the form of jar file. Okay, so one of the jar file is section liaison.jar. So go Google it out and download this jar. In my case, you don't have to download anything. If you see everything I have shared in the Google Drive, which you can easily use. Okay, you go to Selenium folder I have shared. I hope you all have downloaded already. Okay, so if you see here, can you see 2 jar files, section liaison.jar and section 8.7. These 2 jar files you need. Okay, so you download, and where you need to paste it, you have to paste it under this jar folder, whatever I have mentioned. Otherwise, you will not be able to read, right? So whatever the jar folder name I have mentioned, you can place it over there. These 2 jar files. You download it from my Google Drive and paste it. You can get it from the Google also. Also, they told one more thing. If you want to use Xslt report, you have to create one package and place it under your SRC folder. So you have to create one package here. The package is, where is the package? Package also I have updated if I am not wrong. Here. This is a folder, XSLT. So you have to create one package called XSLT, and inside that you have to place this file. So you download and place this file inside that package. Okay. So I am just copying it to my another project. So they told if you want to use XSLT, you have to do that. So I'm going Xslt, copy it and pasting it under my project, my SRC folder. That's it. So if I go inside it, you can see there is one file. If I right click and open, you can see it's a huge file. You don't need to know about this file, that they are taking care. That is there for internal purpose. So what I was trying to go through that file, what is there inside that file? So I figured out that inside that file there is nothing but, Xslt cannot do anything. He can just read testng.xml file and he is generating his own report. That's it he can do. Okay, he cannot run anything, he cannot do anything. He can just read testng.xml file and he is generating his own report. Okay, so it's like, you executed some test cases. I don't know anything about your project and all. Okay, so what you did, you give me a tabular format like this. You can say total test case here, total test case you have executed 100, then you have covered all 100 test cases, maybe pass, fail. So you can say, and skip, maybe there is one more column. So you can say pass is 70, fail is 20, and for the 10 test cases skipped. So you gave me tabular format. What I did, I don't know anything about your project and all. You are working in some other company, some different project. I can just read this table and I generated some graph. Maybe something graph I generated. So here I am showing, 70% pass. Here I am showing 20% fail. Here I am showing 10% skip. So I don't know anything. I can just read your table and generate my own graph. That's what Xslt is doing. He don't know anything. He doesn't know anything. He knows how to read this. He knows only he knows only how to read this file testng.xml and generate some report based on that. That's what Xslt is doing. Okay, so the job is different. This is your project. Your project, you can run only with the help of testng. You can run in a batch mode with the help of testng. Now to run testng, instead of using Eclipse, ANT can come and generate some executable files, and with the help of testng he can run your programs. ANT cannot run your programs, he can generate only executable files. Okay, and testng creates his own report. Now Xslt, as a with the help of ANT, he can read this report. Xslt cannot run your program, do anything. He can only read the testng report, and based on that he generates his own report. Some graphical report he generates. That's what Xslt can do. So job of ANT is to create build.xml and tell testng.xml run your program. Trigger the run basically. How run is doing, that is taking care by testng.xml. And he is creating his own reports. Xslt cannot do anything. He can come and read testng report and he can generate his own report. That's what he can do. Okay. Xslt cannot run, cannot generate build, cannot do anything. Only he can read the report. So for that, what you need to do, you have to download those two jar files, copy under jar folder and download this package. Inside this package, you will have this thing. So you have to paste it under your source folder. Now, if I want to run, you will see one more folder for Xslt report. So to run the command, if you scroll down, you can see there is one more target called make Xslt reports. So ANT will make the Xslt report with the help of this command. See, he is mentioned Xslt reports he will be creating, but for that he will be reading testng report. So if testng report is not there, he cannot create his own reports. So what I can do, you will see one more folder here. I'll write A and P, make Xslt reports. I hit enter. Is making field successful. Can you see this folder Xslt reports? If you go inside it, output folder, go inside it, you can see. If I go index.html, can you see the report? Same thing, but it's more readable format now. Pass 78%, fail 11%, skip 11%. This is the module wise, you can see 50% pass this module, 100% pass, how much time it took. You click empty, it will show only this module. Here it will show only this module. Two groups, there are two groups we created, right? This is for all. Okay. This refresh is not working, I think. Group by class, you can group by class. Okay. Okay, you can group by class. So it's showing the loan class, this money transfer class, this is the thing. User class, this is the thing. Remember, we created all these things. Here it is failing, this is got skipped. We did it purposely. Okay, two groups. Here is the summary. Result output. Here you can see the reporter output. Whatever we are typing in the logs. And result output, you can see the result here. So this is what is Xslt. So clear? The job of each is different. Now, what customer can do? Okay, there are other files also. Those are specific to some different pages basically. Whatever different pages we are going, right? So for that there are different things. Okay, Xslt report and all this. So now you can share it with the client. This project client need to configure ANT and they can use it, run those commands. But sometimes client they don't want to run all these commands also manually. They will tell create some bat file and give it to me. Instead of doing that, you can create some bat file and share it with the client. Okay, so how to create a bat file? So for that, you open Notepad. Okay, copy. You open Notepad and save it. Save it under your project only. It's better so that you don't have to hard code. In single quote, you can put the name. Single quote. So I'm running. Say run say my project. Some name dot bat. You have to put it inside a single quote or double quote. Okay, otherwise it will not be a bat file. Save it. Can you see one bat? Oh, what is happening? Oh, it's taking txt. Okay, it should not be txt dot bat. Delete it. Okay, so it's created a dot bat file. Actually, it's taking .txt also. So I just remove the extension .txt. It should be .bat. So inside that bat file, you can put all the comments. So what you need to do? You first I need to come here, correct? cd this. Then I need to run my command ant clean compile run, and finally I have to make Xslt report. I have to write make Xslt report. Okay, these are the command I need to run. But again, if I write this, you are hard coding it, right? I don't want to hard code it. So that's what I did. I copied the this bat file under my project itself. If you put it under your project itself, by default when you run the bat file, it will open this folder only. Okay, it's going to open this folder itself. So that is the reason I put this bat file under my project. Otherwise you can place it anywhere. So I don't want to hard code this file. Now inside this bat file, I have basically all this command. Ant clean, compile, run, make Xslt. So Ant is going to run all this stuff. Okay. So I have mentioned it, I think. Yeah. Open this index.html and open notepad and do this stuff. So now let me delete it. You will see all these things. Why try again? Okay, this is open. Try. I think some file is open. What is it? Okay, test.ng report. This is open. That's the reason. What's the problem? It's not allowing me. Okay. Okay, so I have deleted everything. So you will see if I double click on this, it will create a build.xml file. Sorry, it will first delete this build folder because I am using clean. Then it will regenerate. Then it will run with help of test.ng.xml file. It will generate the test.ng report here. Then it will run Xslt report and it will generate the Xslt report folder. Okay, so all these things will happen. You just notice. See. Can you see it's deleted build and created build immediately. Now it will generate test.ng report. See, now it's generating Xslt report. Done. If you go back and open, you can see the Xslt report. Okay. So same way, if you go to the test.ng output also, you can see the same report. So this is what is Xslt. So there are different reports available in the market. Third-party report. So they can use any report. You just need to know how to integrate. So wherever you are going to work, if the company is using some specific report, they'll mention how to integrate. So it's nothing but you need to use their jar files, and you might need to follow some standard. Like for Xslt, you have to download these two jar files, section liaison.jar, and you need this Xslt package where this file should be there. So they will tell you if they are using some report. Some company use customized report and all. Okay, so accordingly you can also do it like this. Okay, this is what is Xslt. So test.ng Xslt. So this is a complete package for my project. Okay, I'll have this July weekday package. I'll be zip it and share it with the client. Client need to download, unzip it, and just they need to double click on this. That's it. They don't have to do any more change. Only thing they have to set up the ANT. It's going to run in any system because I have not hard coded anything. That's the reason inside any file, whenever I am writing the path, I am writing the relative path instead of hard coding any path. Because ultimately you are going to share the project with the client and it should run without any modification in your code. Okay, so that's what is test.ng, Xslt and ANT. Clear? Any question?
It's good, Abhishek, but lots of things we need to integrate. Is there any another tool that helps us to do all the thing in one tool itself? Like
Sorry?
it takes care of version generation, report, and whatever we did. Like
No, we will be doing version generation and all.
okay,
But yeah, you have to integrate
creation,
it multiple things together.
creation of backfile, and like only one single tool that takes care of everything.
Not one single tools actually, but if you see, this is one-time configuration.
Yeah, that is true.
Okay, you are right. I mean, there are different things, but yeah, it is like that. Okay, you have to integrate all these
Hmm.
things and
Yeah.
you can do all this stuff.
Okay.
Okay, any more question? Okay, then that's it regarding testing XSLT.
One more question. Like if we share this batch file with customers, do they need to have all these tests and Eclipse in their environment or directly to like it is-
No, they don't need anything. They only need to
Okay.
configure ANT.
Okay.
Okay, and remaining things they can just use it. They just need to download it and unzip that your project folder. That's it. Okay, then that's it for ANT, XSLT, and testing. I will move to the next one.